Welcome to the deep dive. We cut through the noise to get you the core insights. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something truly awful that happened around July 4th, 2025, these catastrophic floods in central Texas. We're looking at least 24 confirmed dead, many still missing. There are reports, really worrying ones, about maybe 25 girls from a summer camp unaccounted for. Just devastation. Mobile homes, cars, roads, all washed away. The Guadalupe River just exploded to historic levels.
Yeah, it's grim stuff. And for this deep dive, we really need to ask not just what happened, which is horrific enough, but why? Why did it get so bad so fast? And crucially, with so little warning, it seems. And the core reason, the really shocking thing here, it looks like 4 months worth of rain came down in just 4 hours.
4 months of rain in 4 hours. That's almost, well, it's hard to even picture. Let's try and break down the scale here. This was Kerr County, right, west of Austin, northwest of San Antonio. They got, what, 10 to 15 inches total by Friday morning?
That's right, widespread 10 to 15 inches. And you got to remember, for context, this region typically sees about 28 to 32 inches in a whole year.
Wow. So yeah, nearly half a year's rain, basically, in a morning.
Exactly. And the speed, that's what's truly terrifying. The Guadalupe River, usually maybe 3 feet deep, it jumped 26 feet. 26 feet in just 45 minutes.
45 minutes. That's almost impossible to comprehend.
It crested at 39 feet, maybe even more. Think about it, it's rising almost a foot every, minute and a half, 2 minutes? Some spots were getting rain at rates of 12 inches per hour.
12 inches an hour.
Yeah. At that speed, there's just no time. No time to escape if you're caught near the water.
And that speed directly translates into human tragedy. You mentioned Camp Mystic and all-girls Christian camp. Been there nearly 100 years.
A real institution. They had 750 girls there.
And we heard awful stories like Tanya Powell searching for her 21-year-old daughter at a reunification center. Just heartbreaking uncertainty. But the rescue effort was huge, thankfully.
It really was. Over 500 responders involved. They had 14 helicopters, drones, boats, the works. Managed to rescue at least 237 people, mostly by air, from what we understand.
That quick mobilization really tells you something about the chaos, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It was a desperate race against that rise in water.
Okay, so we've laid out the shocking what. Let's get into the why.
Yeah.
What caused this, meteorologically speaking?
Well, it looks like a combination of things. You had this really moist, sort of tropical air mass sitting over the area, and then a storm system came in, but it moved incredibly slowly, basically just stalled over south central Texas.
Stalled? Oh, you're right.
Right. And when that happens, all that moisture just gets wrung out like a sponge over one area. It created this incredibly efficient rainmaking setup, a really rare perfect storm scenario.
A perfect storm that led to disaster. Which brings us to the warning question. This seems to have caught people completely off guard.
It certainly seems that way. The top official in Kerr County, Judge Rob Kelly, he was very blunt. He said, "We didn't know this flood was coming." And maybe even more critically, he added, "We do not have a warning system for that kind of event in the area."
No warning system. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's stark.
It is, and it highlights a potential gap. Even the National Weather Service, the NWS, their forecasts didn't capture the full extent of it. They predicted, I think, up to 8 inches, which is a lot, but it was far short of the 10, 15, maybe even more inches that actually fell.
So the models just didn't see this coming?
Not to this degree, no. And, this isn't totally without precedent. There was another bad flood back in 1987 in the same area, killed 10 teenagers. Predicting these intense, localized flash floods is just incredibly difficult. And the NWS is still warning about more rain possibly coming, maybe another 1 to 3 inches, perhaps 5 in spots. So the immediate worry isn't quite over.
Right. So pulling it all together, what we saw in Texas was this unbelievable concentration of rain, months of rain in hours. That, combined with the shocking speed the river rose and this apparent lack of a specific warning system for something this big, it all just created a catastrophe.
Exactly. And it leaves us, and communities everywhere really, with a tough question. When you have natural events this fast, this unpredictable, especially when even the official forecasts can fall short, well, what does that mean for being prepared? How do communities need to think differently about resilience, about real-time communication, about adapting to extreme weather that just doesn't follow the old rules? That's something to really think about.